Greetings and welcome to another episode of 5-Minute Theology. Today we're going to be talking about the doctrine of providence. I was talking to somebody recently, telling them a story, and I said something like, well, fortunately I did this, and they stopped me and they said, fortunately? You can't say fortunately, you don't believe in fortune. And I stopped for a second and I thought, no, I don't. Because fortune implies chance, which is something that the Bible explicitly rejects. Now, I'm not saying you can't use the word fortunately, but think about this. Have you ever told someone good luck? Well, if you did, you were mentioning or talking about something that the Bible also rejects. Where am I getting at with this? When it comes to why things happen, the Scriptures clearly affirm neither fortune nor luck, but something called providence. What is providence? If we could define it, what is it? Well, I came up with this definition. Providence is the continuous work of God to care for His creation, preserving all of His creatures and directing all that happens in the world to its appointed end. God didn't just create the world with a set of fixed laws and just slap it up in the cosmos and leave it to itself. That's deism. That's not Christianity. No, God is intimately involved with the world and the cosmos He created. Hebrews 1 tells us that not only did God create the world through the Son, but Jesus Christ is actually upholding the universe by the word of His power right now. So you can think of it like this. Jesus Christ is sustaining the world as we speak. Rather than some kind of stoic idea of fate, Christians don't believe in fate. Christians believe that Jesus Christ is exercising a very personal lordship over creation at this very minute. Here's some things to think about. Every hair of your head is numbered by God. Not a single bird falls to the ground without the Father's will. Even the roll of a dice is determined by God. So everything is controlled by God. And it's not just controlled by God, it's being directed toward a specific purpose by a good and sovereign God. Throughout the entire course of history, God is executing a plan to unite all things in Jesus Christ. Ephesians 1:10. For the elect, the Apostle Paul says that God works all things together for good for those who are called according to His purpose. Romans 8, verse 28. Now, these passages don't say that God does all things or that all things are good, i.e. sin, but that He works all things together for our good. He's directing, He's orchestrating, He's controlling, He's God. If you believe that God is in complete control, you believe in the doctrine of providence. If you don't believe that God is in complete control, you don't believe in the God of the Bible. Here's a couple practical applications from this doctrine for your life. Think about this. Number one, even unbelievers who are hostile to God and the things of God are still benefiting from His kind providence. Even the people who ignore God, even the people who disobey God, even the people who curse God, God is still taking care of them and making sure they have an adequate supply of oxygen, sunlight, heat, food. Think about that. Think about how kind God is even to sustain and take care of the people who hate Him. Number two, when someone says something like, well, if it's meant to be, it'll be. Have you ever heard someone say that? That's not exactly a biblical statement unless we understand that it's God who plans, controls, and directs all things. Instead, we should say something like, well, if God intends it to be, it will be. There is so much more we could say about the doctrine of providence, but we could end by just saying this. God did not leave us on our own just to figure it out on this spinning planet in the middle of the universe. He's taking care of us. He's sustaining us. He is meticulously working all things for His intended purpose, which is to unite all things in Jesus Christ.